Hi, I'm Courtney Faye Long, and welcome to your sexual fire forecast for the week ahead. Your sexual fire is your life force energy, and it's what you utilize to create happiness, health, to opportunities to fulfill your purpose, and money and abundance. And this week's theme ahead is freedom. In the United States, we have Independence Day, and we are just celebrating overall freedom. And so the only one who can create freedom for yourself is you, your own personal sense of freedom. So spend a little time this week thinking about, do you feel free in your life? And what does freedom look like for you? For me, when I think about freedom, I think about happiness, like the freedom around time, to spend my time the way I want to, the freedom of having enough money that I can, do the opportunities and the travels that I want to. So for me, freedom really relates to happiness and travel, and also to money. And the freedom also, I forgot something very important, the freedom to fulfill my life purpose and to share my gifts in the world, and the confidence to do that. So kind of think about freedom, like what does freedom mean for you? What does it look like for you? And if you were living in total freedom, what would that look like? And how would that feel? Okay, now we're gonna tune into the 4 different areas of life. We're gonna start with career or business or life purpose. And for this week, the message ahead is, it really is about aligning with freedom and just overall alignment. Do you feel like you are in the flow of fulfilling your life purpose? And if you are not fully in the flow, the action step to take for this week is to think about, what are your gifts? What are your gifts in the world? And are you sharing your most precious gifts? So do a little inventory for yourself of your gifts, your talents. And sometimes our gifts are things that are so close to us. They're so much a part of us that we don't see them as gifts. I know for myself, one time I was leading a retreat in Sedona, Arizona. We were reflecting on our gifts, and suddenly it popped in to my mind, oh my gosh, one of my gifts is joy. Like, I am a joyful person. I never would have thought of that as a gift. But people have asked me over time, how are you so happy? Like, what's your secret? So I started thinking about comments people had made, questions I'd been asked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, joy is one of my gifts. It's kind of like a superpower, right? So think about that for yourself. What are your gifts? Is it music? Is it listening? Is it a unique, innovative way of seeing things? There's so many gifts that I think many of us take for granted. So make sure that you are sharing your gifts in your career or your business or your life purpose. And then also think about freedom. Okay, next message is about money. Do you feel you have the freedom to create the money that you want? And is money supporting you in fulfilling your life purpose? Like, do you have money by your side as your helper or as your team member? We talked about that, I think, a couple weeks ago. And so think about the theme of freedom with money. How can you create more freedom in your finances so that you can do what you want? It just looks like I'm seeing some action steps to take, but there's something about like untangling some things. So it's like, if you owe people money, maybe this would be a good week to start making a plan for how to pay that back, even if it's credit card debt or other forms of debt. If you are owed money, how can you start, asking for that to be paid back to you? Like, think about anything that makes you feel kind of like tied up in a knot related to money, and how can you unravel that? Is it, keeping a better budget or better track of your finances? Just some of those kinds of things. So I just saw this big burst of energy going to you from this message, so you will know what this message means for you. Okay, the next topic is, sex life is coming up next. So, all right, freedom, that goes really hand in hand with, do you feel sexually free? Do you feel comfortable in your body and free to be yourself? Do you feel confident and sexy in your body? And the other message is, do you feel free to express yourself sexually? And do you feel comfortable feeling sexual desire? So you might not have all the answers this week about how to create freedom sexually, But I see that you may have many insights, little insights dropping in like little raindrops here and there. But there's something that's really important about you making the decision to be more free sexually. Being free sexually doesn't mean you have to have, 20,000 lovers. It's a feeling inside where you feel free to express yourself, free to experience pleasure, free to ask for what you want, free to orgasm, free to take the initiative or initiate sex, free to receive love and pleasure from someone else. It's a feeling of freedom, and it can look very different for each of us. And so, if you want 20,000 lovers, then that's your choice. That's your freedom, right? So sexual freedom is the theme here. And it's about making the decision that you want that feeling of sexual liberation, and also the joy that can bring, and how our sexual energy ripples out into every other aspect of our lives. There's numerous studies that show that sex can boost our happiness, our health, our confidence. And as my upcoming book is going to be talking about, sex can also boost our money flow. And I'll have a class about that coming up soon too. Okay, so that is the message around sex life. So last but not least is love life. So the message is get out there and have fun. Like really, it's so interesting because usually when I talk about love life, it's a message for kind of like romantic love or partnership or partnerships. But in this case, the message is about being in love with life. Like go out in the world and find the joy and the magic in the everyday moments. Create an adventure for yourself. Take a day trip. Go to like your favorite store or check out a new museum. Like just could be something in your local community that is going to just help kind of boost your joy. But there's something about it that contributes to your feeling of love and being in love with life. So get out there, create some love, share some love, be in love with life. And that's also going to help to boost your joy, love, and fulfillment in your love life too. Okay, perfect. That is the message for this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have a phenomenal 4th of July for those in the US, and those outside the US. I hope you have a phenomenal week anyway. And also comment below. Please let me know what stood out to you from this video. Please share it with a friend and stay tuned for next week's Sexual Fire Forecast.